Hey, everybody. Before we get started, I want to give a quick disclaimer that we are going to be talking about some more intimate areas of bodies.
We are?
Yes. And I just need any of my family members, former youth group members, work colleagues to turn off the podcast now.
What?
You don't need to hear about any of this. So
Beth,
that is your disclaimer.
That's like 50% of our listeners.
It's fine, but just turn off now. You have been warned. And
now they're really going to listen.
I'm just going to say it's on you now if you continue to listen. So
what are you
going
to say?
Hey everybody, welcome to the Geriatric Millennials. This is Beth.
And this is Jayme.
And we're just two oldish, youngish ladies catching up because we have not seen each other in a hot minute.
It's been a little while. I missed you.
I missed you too. Jayme was traveling and I literally messaged her like, can we have a date when you get back? Because I miss you. I just want to hang out. Like no podcasting, nothing, just a hangout.
I know, but we haven't done that yet.
I know.
And here we are podcasting.
It's fine. You know, life be tricky like that. But
I know. Well, because I was gone.
Yes.
So I was visiting my mom, which was fantastic.
Yes.
And then I came home and I just focused laserly. Laserly
I like
focused on updating my daughter's room because she turned 13 the very next week. And that was what she wanted for her birthday. And I had said yes. And I just needed to focus on it. And it was all consuming. And while I was doing that, I was definitely thinking of you and your entire house that you want to redo.
Yeah. Well, and your daughter's room came out so cute. And I just have to say, like turning 13, I mean, it was very different back in our day because like I feel like at 12, I was still playing with dolls a little bit. And then there's just kind of like, I feel like girls today grow up a little bit like they're already doing like, they have nails when they're in kindergarten now. It feels like sometimes you're like, what is happening? But it is so cute to watch them transition. Cause I mean, I've seen your daughter grow up and it's just so fun to see her going from like girl, like little girl to like, oh, she's definitely transitioning to young woman.
She is. And she still played with her dolls at 12, not as often. And so that was one of the first things that we did with her room was just start going through all of her toys and things that she was kind of done with. And part of me was just like, do I keep some of this stuff for her, like for later for her kid or whatever? And then I was like, nah.
I'm like, Jayme, that's not your style.
It's not. It's really not. But I was actually a lot more emotional about it than I thought I would be. I thought she might be it, but she wasn't. She's just like, no, I'm done. I'm good. You know, with her American Girl dolls that like have red hair like her, you know, like just anyway, so many memories attached. And I had to kind of go through a little bit of a process myself, going through all of her room and her being done with all of her little girl stuff. I was just like, what do you mean? You know, because her room is pink. And her rug had a lot of pink in it and she really wanted new paint and she really wanted a new rug. And I understand. Of course I do. Yeah, she is definitely, you know, growing up and she's done with a lot of that stuff. But oh my gosh, it's a process for me. And also she's my youngest.
Yeah, I was going to say that's like the last baby.
I have all teenagers now.
That's wild.
It is wild.
Yes. And I think I loved going it because she was kind enough to let our book club come see her room, which was fantastic. And I just loved it because she has like our whole little makeup setup and her whole like little beauty area. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And it's like, it's past the makeup you get when you're 8. That's like the fake makeup almost. And it's like real stuff. Oh,
it is real stuff. She has all of the things that when I did my like color analysis and I had a lot of like products that were warm toned, undertoned, gave all of that to her. And then we, of course, have our subscription to Allure Box. So she gets a lot of stuff regularly from that. Plus, she's purchased her own. She got some for Christmas. Like she's got quite a bit of products. And it's funny because that was her desk before. So she had a desk and she had, you know, her markers and like all of that stuff on top of her desk. And then she had some of her makeup stuff on top of her dresser with her mirror, but we swapped the mirror. So now it's more like a vanity because she's got a chair. And anyways, it's better. It's better for her and her. She still has like markers and stuff, but they're not on her desk. Like they're in a drawer and on her desk. is all her like beauty lotions and potions and makeup and just all the things. Anyways, yes, it was actually a really fun project, but I wanted to be done with it. Like I wanted to just not have to do that every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cause
No,
like
I get it, girl.
we had to move everything out and like anyway, it was a big deal. It was a big project to like repaint everything. And she picked the rug, she picked new bedding, she picked the paint colors, like, and it's so cute. It is so cute. She went with green. She wanted to just do the whole room. And I said, no, we're going to do one accent wall and the rest is just going to be white. So that because her favorite color changes.
Yes.
And she might want to do this in a couple of years again and change up and it's so much easier to just do one accent wall that doesn't have a door or a window on it. And you still get the effect of the color. And then her mirror is across from it. So you still see it on that wall too.
Yeah.
Like it reflects back. Anyway, I think it turned out really cute.
Yeah, it's very cute. So it's funny, like seeing your kids get older. I feel like children really are the marker of passing time, you know, because we get older and like we've said before, we kind of look the same, you know, we're grown, but like you see somebody's kid and you're like, oh, when I saw you last, you were like 6 inches shorter and
my goodness,
not like this.
Totally.
And you're like, oh, you're graduating now, or, oh, you're driving. That's terrifying. I remember when you were just learning to ride a bike. And so it's just like, oh.
Well, and the weird thing for me is like, I have a senior this year and my baby is 13. Like it's kind of a big. And then my middle one, he's 16, he's driving. It's so funny though. Like when we were going through this process, cause that's what my daughter wanted for her birthday was her room makeover. And I asked my boys like, or maybe my husband did. Cause I was like, don't ask them. I don't want them to say yes, you know, cause he asked them if they were interested in, you know, repainting their room or whatever. Because when we did their room, I did Seahawks colors. So it's like dark navy blue and lime bright green and gray. And I think it looks great, but I mean, I certainly wouldn't want that in my room, but anyways, they could not care less. Yeah. They're just like, whatever. Yeah. Our room's green. Oh, like, you
didn't even notice. Yeah.
Yeah. They're just, it means, a different vibe. Yeah. It's different. They just don't care. They're not into it. They're not into the aesthetic of their room. No. But my daughter certainly is. And yeah, it's just, they've all gone through a lot of phases and will continue to do so. So yes, the time does go by.
Yes, it does. I feel like time is standing still in my house.
What do you mean?
I've been here for now like almost 6 months, 5-6 months. And I thought I'd be further along. And I have to keep reminding myself, you've done a lot of things so far. Like the other day I was like, Beth, you replaced the light fixtures on the outside of the house. You recocked the kitchen. You've been learning all kinds of new things. But my newest thing is skim coating.
I laugh because it's so much work.
It's so much work. So I have orange peel textured walls. And another fun thing about my walls is that they don't come to like a square. All the edges are rounded. So anywhere a wall comes together, it's rounded, which adds a lot when you decide that you do not like the texture of your walls and you decide to skim coat.
I will just interject. I wish that my walls were rounded because they're not. And they get dings so easily. Like they look terrible. Like the paint has chipped on that edge because it's like a pointy edge and it just, anyway.
Yeah. It's like when you have curly hair and want
a blessing and a curse.
Yeah. It's like, oh, if you have curly hair, you want straight. If you have straight, you want curly, whatever it is. But I can see it both ways because I think the thing I'm thinking about is when I want to do like, hey, I want to put some paneling up. I'm like, how do I make it go at the corner? Because then it's round. Anyway, so I've been skim coating. If you don't know what skim coating is, basically you take this joint compound mud that they use for drywalling and you do a thin coat over the wall a couple times in sand and it just smooths all that texture out. I did my laundry room. It took me hours and hours and hours. And I was like, I'm not going to keep doing this. And then the results were like, well, I kind of like it. So now I've done my first bedroom, which is going to be my sitting area / parlor / library. And I have been obsessive about it. It is gorgeous. I literally forced Jayme to come see it. Yes.
It looks really good, but
it is like smooth as the skin that you wish you had, you know, like it is fantastic, but it's just like, I have my ring light in there all the time and I have it full blast. And the best part is I had to take my window blinds down. So there's no curtains or anything there. So I'm working there at night. My neighbors can just see me in there, like with this giant ring light brighter than the sun, just staring at walls and just doing little sands and like adding more spackle. Cause I just trying to get it perfect, but it's getting painted this weekend, which I'm excited about. And by getting painted, me painting. hopefully.
Yeah. What a labor of love.
It's crazy.
Putting a lot of effort into this.
And it feels like the weekends go so fast, but in the moment, it's just like, I've been doing this for hours and hours and hours. Like on average, I've been spending 4 hours a weekend or 4 hours per day of the weekend. So 8 hours total, just skim coating. And it's just ridiculous.
I applaud you.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be overwhelming to me to try to take that on for an entire house, which probably is overwhelming to you, but you just got to do it in bite-sized pieces, which you got to remind yourself, like it's like slow because you don't have somebody coming in and just like focusing on this for 12 hours a day.
Yep.
And even if they did that, it would still take
a long time,
like days and days and days. Yeah. I think
I appreciate anybody that does these like skilled labor craft jobs because they're like freaking awful. And like the other thing that is getting me about owning the home is just how many things you have to buy. Like I have to.
It is endless.
Literally this weekend, I have to go buy a lawnmower and a weed eater because like the freaking grass is growing now. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I don't want to have the yard in the neighborhood that everybody's like, oh, look at that trash. And then I'm like, oh yeah, there's no way to get rid of this grass without a mower or a weed eater or something. I'm like, I can't come out here and just snip it with scissors. So
yeah, you probably don't want to do that.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of like skim coating.
Right. It'd be like horrific. Like, ma'am, what are you doing? I'm like, just let me be. This is my process. But yeah, there's just so much right now. And because I haven't lived here for a full year, every season I'm finding new things. I'm like, oh, I need this.
I need this.
Oh, this is something you have to do. And I'm like, oh, it is getting to be the point where like, oh, you're going to want to have to start working in the yard now because it's getting warm enough outside. It's just constant.
And the weeds. I mean, I can't keep up with it all. Honestly, it's too much.
Yeah, but it's interesting. So, I mean, by interesting, I mean, like I'm at the point I do not want to learn one more skill or craft. I really wanted to get like, I started on my laundry room. I was going to just hire like my friend's father-in-law to come help put the like, shelves up and stuff like that. Cause I can't do that by myself. And I was like, it doesn't have to be that deep. And then I was like, oh, but I really want to retile because the paint colors I picked out don't really go with the current tile I have and blah, blah, blah. I went and got an estimate from one place and it's a fancier place in town. And they're like, I was like, it's like 50 square feet. I'm sure it's not gonna be like $5,000. Like how much would it charge? You guys charge to like do that space? Like, she's like, the girl's like, actually it would be about $5,000.
That's insane.
I was like, what?
Yeah, don't go there.
I literally, and I was dumb and I did that after work on a Friday, which was already a stressful week. And I left and I wanted to cry because I'm like, I'm gonna have to tile this floor myself and I can't do it. But thankfully I went somewhere else in town and they had a much more, not cheap, but much more affordable bid that I was like, that's my jam. I would rather work and save a little bit and have someone else do the tile than have to DIY it. I cannot.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you earlier, I'm already going to have to do all the trim in the house and have to learn how to cut crown molding and all that crap.
Beth.
It's just a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like we've talked long enough now because I do not know what you were referring to.
Oh, well, we have not talked.
I know.
We have not been.
Also, what the heck are you? What?
Okay. Well, this is the part where you need to turn it off now, Mom. Just turn off the podcast. So anyway, well, I want to share a little bit. Like, I feel like as women, I feel like we drew the short straw. Like I love being a woman, all that stuff, but a lot of what we have to deal with our like bodies and doctors and all that stuff is annoying and painful and awkward. And
seriously, why do we have a period? Come on.
For years. After like, I don't need a period right now. I mean, I would still like the hormones because I don't want to just, whatever. But anyway, there's just stuff all the time.
I had an ablation and I don't have my period. And
it's fantastic, I'm sure.
Lovely.
Yeah. But there's just always something, right? And so like, I was having a little bit of like pelvic floor issues. Like, I don't want to get into all the details. I will one day, but we're still working on things. So I was telling my doctor about having some issues. What can I do? And she's like, you know what? I'm going to send you to a pelvic floor specialist for physical therapy. I've never in my life done physical therapy, any of that. And so she's like, yeah, you go, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking they're going to teach you how to do Kegels and different things to strengthen areas, all the stuff, whatever. I feel like my whole life I've been told.
Have we not talked about pelvic floor therapy before? Because I've done it before.
I know.
Okay.
Okay, great. Because then you can be in on this conversation.
Okay.
So and also I've never had kids. I have not been poked and prodded in a medical way that often. Yeah. I just want to say that. Like, I know when you have kids, it's different because literally nurses are just up in your business and you're just like, yeah, get the baby out. I don't know all the details, but I know it's more than someone like myself. So
yes, and pregnancy and
all the things,
checking and looking.
Yeah, it's just different, and you have lots of people. I'm like different. That's not been my journey.
Yeah.
So anyway, I call the people to make the appointment, and the girl's just like, yeah, you don't have to worry. Like, you're not gonna have to take your pants off the first time. I'm like, take my pants off. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? We're just going to talk through stuff and you're going to tell me to squeeze things and like, I don't know, do some exercises. So I'm not prepared fully. So anyway, I go to the first meeting with the girl. She's like I think she's the one girl in town that does stuff. So my doctor swears by her. My doctor has gone to her. She's like, no, she's fantastic, blah, blah. So I go. And so she comes in, she's a nice lady. And side note, while I'm waiting there, filling out the paperwork, I had a cold, so I had a mask on. And guess who's sitting next to me? Your mother-in-law.
What?
I look over, there's your mother-in-law. It's right there. She's like, Beth? And she's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, physical therapy. And so we were like catching up and stuff. And it was just like, this is so random. So anyway, the therapist takes me back and she's like, okay, we're going to talk about everything. And, we just went through the history and like, we're talking about the issues and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, okay, so I'm going to tell you everything we're going to do at the next exam. And then you'll have your next exam and then we'll have a plan moving forward. And she's like, first thing we're going to do, you're going to get undressed. And I'm like, okay. Why? She's like, and then, and she's very sweet. She's like, this is a situation where like, it is about, at any point, if you're not comfortable, we stop, there's no, it's
you're
very
like, okay,
much,
bye.
I'm like, okay, see you later. But I'm like, no, Beth, you're a mature adult and you are handling, issues and we don't run away from things and blah, blah, blah anymore. Anyway, so she's like, first thing I'm going to do, you're going to lay on this table and you're just going to have your knees up and I'm just going to look at it. And I'm like, you're going to look at what? She's like, I'm just going to look into your vagina. And I'm like, great. Sure. Great. And I'm picturing the Eye of Saruman or whatever from Lord of the Rings on the tower and that thing just staring into my vagina soul. And I'm just like, fantastic. And she's like, then I'm just going to poke around the outside. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, I'm just going to poke. It's going to feel deep because I have to get to the muscle, but I'm just going to poke. And I'm like, fantastic. Fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
And she even said, with a gloved finger. That's what she said. Then with a gloved finger. Great. I'm just going to go in. And I'm like, swell. Sounds like a fun day for me.
Oh my gosh.
And she's like, and then I'm going to be pushing.
Wait, have you had a pap smear?
No, because my doctor didn't make me have one.
Oh, okay. So this is new for all of this.
All of this is new for me because my doctor had never made me have a pap smear. And I was just like, I had no family history and blah, blah. She just was like,
okay.
I was seeing someone that was just not, again, my new doctors are like, that's very interesting that they weren't making you do that. I'm like,
yeah, you're probably going to want one.
Yeah. Well, and I think part of it too is my old doctor was like my doctor from when I was a kid, like not a kid, but a kid. And it just,
they still thought of you as that.
Yeah. And we just didn't.
Okay.
And I didn't always think to ask the right, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're just not, I just think the doctor's going to tell me what I need.
Okay.
And anyway, it's fine. It's fine. I'm learning lots of things now and
you're going to have to advocate for yourself.
A little bit better. And again, I wasn't taking friends and I knew my friends would talk about having pap smears, but it's not like I would be actively thinking about it when I was going to the doctor because usually we were dealing with other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
I know it's a problem.
Okay, so what were you doing? So back to this. So like probing.
Yes. So she's just telling me all this right now. I'm like, great. She's like, so now we're gonna set up the meeting, and the next meeting we're gonna do this. I'm like, great. She's like, look in her calendar. I can meet you on Monday. It is Thursday. I'm like, great. No time to wait. So the whole weekend I'm mentally preparing myself. Like, this is not going to be weird. Like I've had other exams, like I've had like breast exams and I've had ultrasounds and mammograms and stuff like that. And I'm like, it's just going to be like that. It'll probably just be like that. It's just a medical thing. You're not going to notice that your hoo-ha's out. And I'm picturing stirrups up in the air, all this stuff. And I'm just like, this is fantastic. So literally the whole weekend, I'm skim coding, I'm doing things. I'm just not thinking about it. I'm like, don't get yourself anxious and worked up about this. Anyway, so I go on the Monday and I'm just thankfully your mother-in-law was not there. So it was a lot more peaceful and like not having to see somebody I know. Anyway, so she takes me into the room. She's like, okay, are you ready? I'm like, sure. And I looked at her, I'm like, also, I just want you to let you know, I'm going to talk about this on my podcast. So I'll send you the episode. And she was laughing and stuff. It was great. So anyway, she's like, okay, you're going to get undressed and then you're going to, blah, blah, blah. So I get undressed and I'm on this table. It's not like it's just a flat table.
Yep.
And she's like, my knees are up and she's like, all right, we're going to get started. Now, when she had said she was going to look into it, I thought the exam was going to be over the course of like an hour, which it's not. But that's in my head. I'm like, this is going to take an hour. And I pictured her with her like her like hands under her chin, like, looking, just staring into it. That is not what happened. But that's what I pictured her just sitting at the end of bed, just staring at it, like thinking. And I'm like, okay, I'm glad that was not the reality. So she like literally, looks for a second. She's like, okay. I'm like, it took like 20 seconds. I was like, okay, fine. So then she's like sitting on the side of my knees and she's like, all right. And she's not at the end of the bed. She's just sitting next to me. She's like, all right, I'm going to start poking. And I'm just like, okay. And I'm just like bracing for the worst because it's just very awkward.
It is.
When she had asked, she's like, you can have, because we're working in this area, she's like, you can have another person in here if you want, like another nurse to be watching. I'm like, hell no. I'm barely comfortable with you. And I really like you at this point, but I'm barely comfortable with you being all up in my hoo-ha in this manner. It just is a very non-intimate, intimate thing. Yeah. Like it's so clinical, but at the same time, you're like, somebody's like up in my grill right now.
Yes.
Anyway, so she's poking around. Then she goes all the way. She's like, she's going. And literally what it feels like is, when they put the cow glove on and it goes up to their armpit. And she just like, she goes in and I'm just like, okay. Again, it was not that intense, but that's mentally what it felt like.
Yeah. Well, especially because you're hyper focused on anything that you're feeling.
Yes.
Because you're just like waiting for it. It's like when you're at the dentist and you're just like,
it's like, when they're drilling on you and you're waiting for it to then to hit the root. And
that's what I mean.
The whole
you're
whole
like
time.
hyper focused. Whereas if that just happened when you were chewing, you'd be like, not a big deal. Yeah. But like, because you're waiting for it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It was, the anticipation was not fun.
No.
Anyway, and then she starts poking around.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's like, you might feel like you have to go to the bathroom. That's me pushing on your colon from the inside. I'm like, great. And yeah. And she literally is like pushing around and I'm like, yeah, I can tell. I probably need to go to the bathroom soon. Thanks, ma'am. It was just, and it felt like she was in there for like 20 minutes. She wasn't. It was probably like 5 minutes. But we're doing all these tests and she's like, bear down, suck up, do this, do that, to like all the muscles in there. And it was just an experience. And then finally she's done. And by that point, I felt like her puppet. I felt like she had been in me for years. She was running the levers. I'm twisting my head and doing whatever she has because she is just up in the hoo-ha. So then she finished and then we did like some external stuff of like touching your stomach. And turns out I am not connected to my pelvic floor with breathing or anything. And I have not had my follow-up meeting yet, so I don't know everything that's wrong. But she's like, it's mainly okay. I'm like, great. Fantastic. That was great. That was great. Because I wrote some stuff. I was like, I probably have I have a tumor or something. There's, something really wrong. And she's like, no, you're fine. And I'm like, okay, I feel better now.
Yeah.
But, there's a lot of anxiety around some stuff.
Sure.
But anyway, so that was super fun. So then she's like, I'm not going to go over everything right now. I'm going to let you get cleaned up as she's taking the glove off. And I'm just like, that just feels so weird.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, I'm excited to hear what your experience was like. It was just weird. So I get back dressed. And again, I still have felt like a puppet the rest of the day, basically. But then we're just talking a little bit. And now it's like, we're going to make a plan. And she's like, guess what? I'm probably not going to have to go in again for now. I'm
that's
like, that's
good.
Fantastic that the next time I see you is not going to be like a, hey, how you doing? Let me get my glove and lube type of situation.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm proud of you for doing that, though.
Yeah.
Good job.
And I feel like we don't talk about enough as women, again, that we have to go do this crazy stuff that feels so invasive.
Mm-hmm. Literally.
That we're just supposed to take and just be like, get over it. Like,
I know. So do you want to hear a little bit about
of course I do.
Pelvic floor therapy? So this was years ago now, but when I went, one of the first things like that they talked about with me was just like, she put her hand on like my arm and she's like, I'm touching your arm. Like, this is like your arm. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like touching you here on this part of your body. And she's like, now I'm touching you here on this part of your body. And she's like, this part of your body it's just part of your body. And she's like, and so I'm going to be touching different parts of your body to like determine, to like check things out and figure out. And like, you have a lot of muscles in your pelvic floor. You have there's a lot going on. There's a lot connected. And so that did help me, like just in my mind to think, to kind of not like detach, but in some ways just like think of my body differently. Like, and so I wasn't like being violated.
Yes.
I'm like, like there's muscles. This is a part of my body that is, not functioning optimally, and I need help like with this part of my body. And so, but I ended up having to do quite a bit of internal, like physical therapy, where there was, like the therapist's gloved hand, but like fingers up inside, like, and doing like pressure point muscle release, different things. And like, just, I actually need to go back and find my notes, because I like learned all this stuff, but then I didn't like continue with it at home, which is it. So then it doesn't necessarily like carry through, but I did learn quite a bit of things that I have incorporated. But I was thinking I need to go back, because so much is connected to our pelvic floor, and so many of those muscles we don't necessarily engage properly or know how to engage properly. Like, she taught me how to do a Kegel like properly and the things that they look for. And I was like, oh, anyway, because she's like, a lot of people do them wrong. Yeah. Like, they're not actually doing what anything they need to do that's going to strengthen or help or whatever, which reminds me, I need to do those again, because it's not something that you just think about in your everyday, at least I don't. Yeah. But anyways, did you know that in a lot of other countries, like a pelvic floor therapy element is a whole part of the package of like women's healthcare, and especially around like childbirth? Not in this country. Yeah. 100% should be. 100% should be. It's so important and vital, and it's totally missing from healthcare in America, because like, there's major trauma when you give birth, and like, you need to learn how your body works and how to like support all of those muscles and like get things the way they need to be. And like, we're not taught that. No. And we're not helped with that at all. Unless we like specifically like advocate and go for, because we learn about it somewhere else, and then like pay money and like try to like figure out how to do it anyway.
Well, I think for me, one of the most frustrating things is like, I've been having issues for over 5 years. And I have not told one, not two, minimally 3 or 4 doctors that I was seeing. And like, cause I had different people over the course of those years, cause COVID and people left and blah, blah. And like, this is my current PA. She's the first doctor that listened to me, thought it was important for my woman's health, and actually did something about it. And I'm just like, I literally have been like suffering in silence a bit, and like, nobody gave a F. And I'm like, I get it. Everybody's overworked, busy, blah, 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 blah. They're, sometimes there's other health concerns that are more pressing, but it's very frustrating when you feel unheard. And it's not like there's not a lot I can do by myself. I don't know what's wrong, Yeah. Like, I need an expert to tell me, here's this. I also think it's frustrating because like I have been talking to a few girlfriends about like, different birth control and stuff. And like, just like the process of like having an IUD. And like the pain that we go through, and just there's just all this stuff around hoo-ha-ness that is like very annoying, that we just like, and I don't want to be a total man hater, but if men had to do similar exams in the same way, and when they have procedures that are equal, I feel like they get offered painkillers. I feel like they get offered like more support than women do. And that's, I have my own bias there, but it's just very frustrating.
It's true though.
Yeah. It's just frustrating. And I really liked what you said about how she was, because my therapist did the same thing about like how was touching your arm and stuff. She was very much like, I'm going to do this now. I'm going to touch your inner thigh. I'm going to touch your labia. I'm going to do this. And it was so helpful because it wasn't a surprise. and her continuing to say like, yeah, we can stop at any time, because I think if she had not done that, it would have felt like a violation.
For sure.
It would have felt wrong. And like, because it is a stranger, and
it's a very intimate. It's a private. It's your private
area.
Parts.
Yeah.
Yes.
And as much as I would like to be hoo-ha forward, I'm not. And I'm not a naked person. I'm not a hey, Jayme, do you want to see this?
We don't. Yeah. No, we don't walk around.
We don't do any of that.
We're not in a nudist colony.
It's so funny because it feels very Puritan and very like, it does not help too. I just want to say that I came from purity culture.
Right.
That was just like, you're showing your shoulder. You dirty whore.
I know.
Like
a spaghetti strap.
Yeah.
You need at least like
an inch or whatever.
An inch wide strap.
Yeah.
Because that little piece of skin on your shoulder is really a problem.
Yes. And so like being comfortable, just like, again, being hoo-ha forward, it has always been a little bit of a challenge for me, because it's like in the back of my head, even though I do not believe this anymore, it's like, yeah, you're probably going to go to hell. Yeah. You're letting this woman touch your vagina. You're probably gonna, you probably need to repent. And it's just like, calm down, old stupid record brain.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, so that's been like super exciting in my life.
Absolutely. I'm actually really happy that you are finally like
getting help.
Yes. From somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
And who's listening to you.
Yeah. It makes me feel better. And I'm glad I have like a team that's like really good and listens and is like very female friendly and like very like positive and like listen. Like the PT was like, was very much like, what are your end goals? What are this? Like, let's move towards this. And like, this is what's happening about. It was just really great. And I'm just so appreciative. And again, I'm so thankful that I found a PA that actually listens and is a woman and isn't just like, you're crazy. Cause it's like, I've had people before literally like, just like, and people, I mean, it was man, like I've come to them. It wasn't with a hoo-ha issue. It was with something else. And they literally were just like, I don't see anything. I don't feel anything. Psh, you're probably fine.
Oh my God.
And then I went to my normal doctor because this person was like substituting, and I called her and I did a follow-up, and she's like, no, you have this. Like, here's the thing you need to do to fix it.
Gosh. That's what, again, like, you just
so
sadly have to be your own advocate. You really do.
Yeah. So anyway, there's that. So I'm very excited for this journey. I'm hoping within like 3 or 4 months, all my issues are resolved and back to business as normal. But, holy Toledo. What an experience. What an experience.
Well, I do see how you've never given birth and you've never had a pap smear, how this would be kind of like a big deal in your mind. Like,
it's a different experience.
Like, I don't want to say big deal, but an experience that you don't have an experience.
I don't have
that's
the medical.
relatable.
I don't have the medical reference for what happens, because I can people can explain it, but it's like,
here's the thing: when you are pregnant for the first time and you have a baby for the first time, like all of these things that are just routine for these like medical professionals and stuff, like for you for the first time, it's kind of shocking.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, what? Like you're going to look at me like every time I'm here, you're going to put your fingers up there. You're going to check, you're going to like it just, you kind of lose all of that like privacy and I don't want to say dignity, but on one hand, it kind of feels like it's just,
well, it's just a body to them, but for you, it's different. Right, it's my body.
But you do get like exposed to all of those kinds of experiences, and then it becomes easier later because you're just like, well, and then if you have a kid and you breastfeed, I mean, there's just then it's just like nipples all the time. Like it's just different. It's just a very different experience that like kind of pushes you to not get over, but to just get more comfortable with that kind of stuff. It's still uncomfortable, but it's not.
I'm throwing it back to what got the colonoscopy, because you got one too.
Yes.
That was a weird thing too, when you start to think about, you're going to stick a what up my butt?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, you guys are going to spread my cheeks in this room, and like there's 2 men in here and this nurse, and you're not going to giggle about it, because I would giggle.
Right.
And
well, okay. So I'm also married to a nurse.
Yeah.
And so like talking to him about his experience as a nurse, like they just like see it all day in and day out all the time.
Yeah. It doesn't faze them.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And like they've seen so much.
Yeah.
They've seen everything on just a variety of ages and stages and people. And it's just,
I do have to say I appreciate that about my physical therapist when she said things look normal after she stared into my vagina, because I was like, thank you, because I know you've seen a lot of vaginas. So that makes me feel much better.
I always had this, like when I was younger, I remember being like going through puberty and stuff and not knowing if I was normal and wondering if I was normal and being so curious about other people because I didn't know if I was normal. And I remember my mom assuring me, she's like, oh, when you were born, the doctors checked you, you're normal, right? But that didn't feel very reassuring to me because I was like, I was a baby. Like I'm very different now, you know? And I know that I'm normal but like I just didn't know that I was normal. And I guess we do need that reassurance by someone who's actually in authority that's like, yep, you are.
That looks right to me. Anyway, well, love catching up about this. Who knew it was going to be all just become pelvic floor?
I didn't, but
I'm glad we talked about it. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. And again, I think it's important that we have these conversations more openly because I know that there's other women out there that are going through the same thing or have done it or are right there like, oh, I need to go do my appointment and what am I going to expect?
Pelvic floors, you know?
Yes. So there we go.
Hey, if you're enjoying this podcast and would like to support our show, you can share episodes with your friends and family, follow us on Instagram at the Geriatric Millennials, or leave us a positive review and rating, all which help us to grow. Our theme music was created by the Finley Ghost, so check out their latest album now. Thank you so much.